No, let's add me. Let's remove that. Let's drop the music. Hit the comments and welcome you aboard to today's Tomato Talk. Top of mind, advancing through opportunities. I went back and forth on this whole thing between opportunities and obstacles because I think it's those obstacles that create the opportunities. But sometimes, and maybe many times, it's a matter of like, how do you, what smacks you in the head? Let's put it that way. What smacks you in the head and says, hey, ding dong, you don't know how to do that. What gives you the right to do that? I'm not talking about some of the things we discussed in the past, but like some of the other things that are things that we do all the time, but sometimes we just do it blindly. We don't have that strategy in place to make it work. I get these emails, right? Oh, I want to be a friend. I'm like, oh, I click on it, bam, I get a message immediately. Gotta love those things. And I've done it a couple of times, where not selling something, but well, we're always selling something. We're either selling a product, a service, or a thought. Mm, the ones I put in there a little bit more on the thought side of things, but we wind up doing it. So whether you have your own business, you got your own nonprofit, you're trying to raise money for a nonprofit, you got involved in some project along the way, you want to share that. Heck, you want to tell people to go visit a park, and you're like really focused on doing that, and you're focused on doing any of those things. And if you're in business, if you're in sales, if you're supporting one of those nonprofits or nonprofits, or just participating in an event that's coming up, you wind up doing something that maybe you don't know how to do well enough. And that is a challenge. Look, I mean, here's the reality of that challenge. And we're going to talk a little bit more about marketing and things like that. Doug, good afternoon to you. We talk about marketing. Like, how do you promote something? Well, you use social media, right? You go on LinkedIn, you go on where else? Facebook. That's a great place to go. And what about doing a TikTok video or maybe Instagram? And what about some of those memes? What do you use? Oh, you just use them all. No, no. Well, here's a couple of reasons why no is really the right answer. One is that probably your target market is not on all of those things. Maybe if you're some huge corporation and you have different products for different people and stuff like that, but you're not a huge corporation. Chances are, I don't have the CEO of some large corporation, you know, they forget about even watching this, but like even thinking about it, it's like, oh, I got a department, and it goes off to the department, right? And that's where that goes. And what does that department have? Well, a department is usually called a department because it's not one person, it's people, multiple people. It's a group of people, it's a whole chunk of people. If it's a really big business, oh, it's a whole bunch of specialized people. Some do the marketing, some do the promotion, some do the marketing internal, some do the marketing external, all over the place. You know, but if you're the one who's tasked with being the person that does the marketing internal, external, and all those social media posts, and not only are you writing your script, you're reading your script, you're holding the camera in front of the camera, behind the camera, and all this. Where do you go? What do you do? How do you do all of that stuff? Granted, you could certainly go out there and pay somebody to do these things, and that is a good idea if you can do it. If you can't do it or you want to be personal, then I do think, depending upon who you are, what you do, that you should be doing it. Now, if you're doing this because of some nonprofit, well, tag, you're it. You're absolutely it. So there's been a couple of places over the years that I just have found to be huge, huge resources to me and many, many others along the way. And these are complimentary. All right. Sometimes you got to pay for some things, and there's one thing I want to talk about over here, where you are paying to join, to attend, and occasionally those things come up, and I think they make sense too. Even my side of it, I'm even considering taking a class over at one of the colleges online, not so much as for the degree, but for the experience. I want to learn more about some of the things that, utilizing some of the things I do. And it's really the social media aspect of it. How do you really use social media effectively? Oh, you shoot video. All right. I do a lot of video. uh, But when it goes out, it goes out. How do I get it across boards? Different boards and things like that. The keywords, I get it. Using it effectively, no. I would certainly look to rely on other people with all of those things and make that work. But in a business environment, in a business environment, there certainly are some businesses out there that just flat out don't get it. And I think that's a mistake. There are other businesses out there that get it that completely along the way. And that I think is big. And I think it's a great way to grow the business from a cost standpoint, along as an effective standpoint. It's so odd how few people are really watching or looking to TV for like all of their news. Pieces of it, yeah, but the amount of time we spend, and I actually wonder about this, is that do we spend more time online on some platform than we do actually watching TV, standard TV? Yeah, we'll joke around. One of the folks watching yesterday had me on the TV, but it was through the internet on the TV. So that doesn't really count. That's still internet. Yeah, but it used to be just all TV, 4 channels. Go way back. 4 channels. Boom. We advertise. You go there. Okay, easy enough. What about newspaper? A couple of local papers. Okay, you figure out. Well, if I have a pizza place and my audience is within 10 miles, then probably, then a local paper makes sense, right? Probably 10 miles to drive a pizza is probably a far distance, especially here on the island. You probably have 6 pizza places within 3 miles of wherever you live, maybe even more, and more pizza places. So local paper, makes sense too. It's like, but social media, there's different, there's a couple of websites that really focus on the local businesses. They're really good to use. The free one to use is Patch. I posted on there a couple of times. And then there are others out there that you could pay for. And I'm going to have some of these groups on here too, because it's really important. All right, but let's get to it. So, what about some of these places there that I have frequented that I think that are huge? All right, one of them happens to be the Miller Business Center. All right, I'm tainted. I'm a I'm a fan for a couple of reasons. All right, couple of reasons, and let's just get this completely out in the open. One, I've got some friends over there. Two, I've spoken there. I've done a couple of their business meetings. And three, they've been very, very supportive for my needs when it came to getting information. They also run a couple of events. But, but why? Why do I have that kind of relationship with them? Because a long time ago, I was introduced to them as like the Miller Business Center. What is that? It's over at the Center Reach Library. Okay, you just told me where it is. What is it? What is it that they do over there? Right? And in short words, they help the business community in many ways by running events that you can attend. Most of those events are free. They do have a couple of day-long events where there is a fee that goes along with that. They have all kinds of databases to use. Fantastic stuff. Those databases are free for you to use. That's big because a lot of these things would cost you a lot of money to subscribe to. It's totally complimentary through the Miller Business Center. You got to get a business card, a library card. You're good to go, right? Easy enough. You do not have to live in Center Reach. You do not have to live they're in Suffolk County. It doesn't make a difference. They service everybody across the board. They're members of a couple of the different trade associations too. Very involved with the HIA trade show and the HIA, the Hot Dog Industrial Association, and that group. The events that they're doing can complimentary. The information using those databases, totally complementary. Here's the big part with it, though, is the fact that you could go there and say, hey, I have this kind of a business. I'm not 100% sure what I'm really looking for, but this is my goal. And then you're going to get the opportunity to work with a couple of the folks over there who are then going to help you figure out what it is and who it is that you could be looking to market to, connect with, things like that. And that really is the value. They don't just provide services, they provide advice, totally complimentary. Gosh, that sounds like an elevator pitch. We'll get to that later. Don't you worry about it. We'll get to the elevator pitch later. So the Miller Business Center runs different events. There's one that's coming up, and I found this to be. I find all of them to be interesting. Let's not let's not get ourselves. You know, let's see if we can get to the right one, and that would be this one. Share Miller Business Mornings. So the Miller Business Mornings, you can see they are supported by the People's Alliance Federal Credit Union. Website there is WWPAF, People Alliance Federal, CU creditunion.org. Great people. Really good. And this is in-person meetings now. All right. In person. So you're going to go there. I think they have a cup of coffee too. So there you go. So this one is with the Long Island LGBT Chamber of Commerce. And when I looked at this, I mean, I actually, it caught my attention because I thought they were more of just like an advocacy group and support, helping, the community out. I did not realize the extent of what's going on over there. Phenomenal, really phenomenal. So I think this will be a huge opportunity, for many of us to get to meet another, maybe you know them, hopefully you do, another networking group, but to have a chamber or chamber of commerce, but to have a chamber of commerce present and talk about what's going on within that chamber of commerce, I really think is interesting, because I got a feeling that many of us just don't really get what these chambers are all about, what they're really looking to do. And some of them are looking to reach out to, beyond the local geographical community, as this one is. I took a look on the website, just amazing. I wish my website looked as good as they did. But so that is going to be Friday, September 16th, not this Friday, but the following Friday. And you'll get a chance to speak with them, listen to what they're doing, and really learn, quite a bit. So it's 9:00. I think it goes to about 10:30 or so. So that would be interesting as that goes. This is a newly launched Long Island LGBT Chamber of Commerce. Okay, so that's why they're out there looking to share the information on it also. They are looking to grow. I love these organizations that are using their voice to build their business. Right? It's a good thing. And like every time I've spoken over there too, great group of people, just absolutely great group of people that are attending that. All right, let's go and see if I could pop on to the next site that they have there. Let's go back to StreamYard. And Doug, do they have anything on disabilities? Well, you know what? Let's hang in there, because I'm going to go to the website. Share screen, Chrome tab, and there we go. All right. This is the LGBT Network. And do they have anything on disabilities? Let's go take a look over here as that goes. Program and services. Health and support, we'll take a look there. HIV/AIDS, campaigns and advocacy, education and training, safe schools, workplace, senior housing, LGBT Network Candidate Training Academy, and LGBT Network School District Ambassador. I'm not going to go through all of these things. If you really want to know about all of these things, go to the Miller Business Center. Offers program services and resources for LGBT people of all ages to build long-term health and provide support. And then I'm looking through over here. Yeah, there you go. The network also provides services that include crisis intervention. This is what I'm looking at. Crisis intervention support and advocacy for LGBT people. Again, they focus on that group, people who are victims and survivors of hate crime, sexual assault, domestic and intimate partner violence. Intimate partner violence, bullying, discrimination, and other. So they are definitely on bullying. So yeah, that would definitely be a conversation, to have. But look at it. This website. This is a fantastic website. I tell you. Uh, they are, part of the community, doing all kinds of different things over here. Here's the other thing too: the different centers they have. And I got involved with the center in Manhattan, and I was down the village. It's just phenomenal. It was through Toastmasters, really great. And this building dated back to the 1800s. It was just so great, really was. And we would talk. It was Toastmasters, all about communication skills. And one of the things that they had stressed in there because they wanted to focus on communication skills, the skills. So they didn't want everybody to go in there and share, what they were supporting and that. So they stayed, told their rules, not mine, wanted to make it totally, totally non-political, not advocacy, not anything. They just want to focus on the communication skills itself and giving different presentations. I had a ball, just really phenomenal. Anyhow, so out here, and I think at that point in time, this is going back a couple of years, the first one they opened up was in Bayshore. So now there's four of them: Astoria, Bayshore, Hauppauge, Sagaba. They're growing. They're growing. And look, between the programs, services, support, resources, news, and media, they got everything going on up here on this website. So good stuff. Really good stuff. All right, let's go. I'm going to run out of time again here. All right, so let's go with stop sharing. Let's get back to StreamYard. Oh, I got a whole ton of screens open up there. There you go. Oh, the Miller Business Center. Did they do anything on disabilities? Oh, they might. No, they might. We'll take a look. I don't think this is going to be up there. I got to search around a little bit too much for that one. But I was on that other side. But the point is that Chamber of Commerce is doing a lot. They're doing incredible in a number of different directions too. And I got a feeling, we think of a Chamber of Commerce, it's like, I don't know, maybe just the local businesses and stuff like that, or finding out what's going on with the local elected officials, so much more. These chambers are definitely growing, and their importance level has grown immensely. Definitely has grown immensely. Ever since I started doing this program, I started getting much more knowledgeable about what's going on with the chambers, with disseminating information about COVID, rules, regulations, different things that restaurants, stores, all of them had to abide by, and then has things opened up a little bit and different ways of doing things. So they're really great resource. If you have a business, you should be involved with them, and in some way, shape, or form. But go find out what's going on. All right, let's go to another one. So the Miller Business Center, you got that coming up. It was at September 14th, and now let's go to the other one, Miller LGBT Client Center. We're good. There we go. Stony Brook Small Business Development Center. Small Business Development Center. Forget the word Stony Brook. Small Business Development Center. You pay for it. Yeah. It's a government aid. It's through the Small Business Administration. Then they have the Small Business Development Centers that report to the Small Business Administration. This stuff is free, complimentary, much nicer word than free. They have all kinds of programs. Now here, it's similar to what you would do if you were walking into the Miller Business Center. So look, Sal, Alex, I need to create a list of businesses that I could contact. And they're like, where are you at? And you say, I don't know. They're going to be, okay, how can I help you though? How can you, if you don't know, how in the world would they know? Now, the Small Business Development Center has got a couple of things going on, and it's very similar. The comments are going to be very similar with that. The programs that they have, the ones that you can attend, you can see them right here, and I'll go through them, right? They're good. But if you don't know why you're going there, you're going to miss the value of that. The first one here is about unleashing the power of LinkedIn. Okay, but why are you using it? Why are you using LinkedIn? Uh, I had worked with a couple of different people. One of them wanted to reach out to their customers. That's one way of using LinkedIn. Another one wanted to reach out to existing customers. Another one wanted to reach out to the family members of existing customers. Two totally different focuses. And then a third one is just, wanted to promote themselves all over the place. Three different situations, three different ways of approaching using LinkedIn. Three different ways. So you got to understand why you're doing it. But you also got to understand, as those folks did, maybe not the third person to reach out to everybody, but who do you want to get in front of? So if you walk into the Miller Business Center and you're like, oh, I need a list. A list of what? A list of businesses. Okay. I need a list of businesses that use marketing services. Okay. For what? For one, what size company? Is there a cost? Obviously, there's going to be a cost if somebody's going to hire you. But what range are you charging? And if it's so much, the eye depends. Then who are you reaching out to? Look, if you're charging a minimum of $5,000 for you to share your advice with somebody, you're probably not talking to startup companies. You're talking to established companies, right? If you got a whole team and your money's and your costs are even more, well, you need bigger companies. So now they could narrow down that list from a revenue standpoint, so that becomes important. Maybe you have an industry you focus on, whatever. The Small Business Development Center, attending one of these workshops with a clear understanding of why you're using it and who you're trying to get in front of. Now, when that's explained, and this is Beth Granger that's doing that. But now, when she explains the power of LinkedIn, you could apply that to what it is you're trying to accomplish, and you're gonna be listening, looking for different ways that are actionable to you, not just taking in a collective amount of information. So you will be a much more effective audience member if you know why you're there. So the two of them, you definitely should know why you're there, right? What you're trying to accomplish. Also, the Miller Business Center has got different business coaches that are there that will assist you. But you need to walk into the place though with an idea of where you're going. You know, they're not like life coaches. Like, this is what I like doing. How do I do? What do I do? And where do I go from here? In very general terms, you need to go in there with at least a business plan written out. Doesn't have to be complete, but at least vision of what you want to see happen, not just a thought, but some more of a vision. We'll explain it that way. All right, so the events that they're coming up, September 14th. Oh, looks like we got double duty over here. So someone's going to one, someone's going to another one. But the Power of LinkedIn would be appropriate one from a marketing standpoint. This other one, September 29th, become your own graphic designer with Canva. I've used Canva. And again, I'm not a graphic designer. Canva's easy to use. So this will give you a lot more insight. I really should go to that. I guess it may be easy to use, but I certainly need a little bit more um, brushing up on that one. Here's another one: reverse avoiding the 5 worst mistakes you can make as a business owner. Business insurance, and oh, November. Are you ready to sell this holiday season? Yikes! Holidays are coming up. Oh boy, boy, oh boy, oh boy. This season went pretty quick. All right, let's remove that one. All right, last thing I got coming up over here. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Let's drop that. And we're going to go to this one. I got one more to coming up. And that would be Glenn Rudin. When we talk about, when you go into any of these things, Miller Center, Small Business Development Center, any networking event, any other place, people are going to ask you, what do you do? People are going to ask you what you've been up to. People are going to ask you some question that goes along with that. And you need to be able to respond to that. And that, my friends, is going to be your elevator pitch. Maybe you're not selling on that elevator pitch, but you still need to be clear as to what it is you are doing, why you're speaking to that person, and what you expect from that person. What I mean by expect is like if you know who you're talking to, even just on a flat out introduction, if you know who you're talking to, now what'll happen is that they will be able to, there we go, then you'll be able to figure out where you want that conversation to go. And you end with, in my opinion, and with some sort of a question or a thought that's going to generate a question from the other side or generate an answer from the other side and not a yes or no answer. And then you could work it out as to whether or not you're going to see if you want to keep that person as a possible prospect, maybe a referral partner, or maybe you're just going to flat out refer them to somebody else. So Glenn Rudin, let's come over here. Glenn Rudin is doing a seminar himself, and this one is at a fee. This is $29, and he's talking about how to make yourself, your companies, and your products stand out. Right. A lot of it has to do with the elevator pitch, but there's a lot more that he discusses on that one. So this is a few dollars to attend, and I think that answer is going to be it was $29. Yep, $29.99 to attend, and he's good. And what's interesting about Glenn's background is he comes from a business background. It comes from a product development background, and it comes from a very realistic background when it comes to these things. What kind of a product do you have, and will it really sell? Does the cost of making that product really make sense? And then it's got to be marketed, and that's really where it's at over here. There's all these the different aspects of what he's talking about here is about the marketing side of it. So that is pretty interesting. And I've known Glenn, spoken with him, referred him to go speak at other places too. So I definitely think it's good. Even though he and I kind of talk on the same thing, with that elevator pitch, that kind of stuff. But he's coming from a different point of view than I am. Or different, yeah, different, not point of view. He's coming from a different beginning than I am with it. And there lies the difference. The outcome we're both shooting for is pretty much the same, different ways of getting there, but it's pretty much the same. So I really think that's great. And I am a big believer that if you are somebody that's similar to what you do, but not exactly what you do, the two of you are going to fall into different places. So it's not competition, not in any way, shape, or form. All right, let's just jump back over here. Glenn, we'll going to take you off. We'll get you. Wait, let's get a date on that as to when that is. Glenn's event is coming up. Let's go here. Glenn's event is coming up. He's got a nice little website or invitation for that one. So we just need to register for it. 75 minutes, by the way, and it's on Zoom. So there you go. And you could register for that one, and he'll give you the date as to when that is going to be. And he's not kidding around about limited. You can't be too many places, or you can't have too many people if you're going to make it interactive. And I'm sure he will definitely be interactive. All right, so we're good with that whole thing. Where are we at here? We're at 29:48. We're going to end this one right on time. So there are resources out there. Understand those resources, know about those resources, and go. And then look, if you go to the Miller Center or you go over to the Stony Brook Small Business Development Center first time and you just want to get a better feel for it, and you're really not exactly sure where you want to go with your business and that kind of thing, it's not terrible. This way you get a chance to see what's happening there and ask them about the resources they provide. But you can't just keep doing that. You got to go into these things no matter what it is, an event, a presentation, online, anything, even just a one-on-one conversation with some sort of an idea as to where you want to go with it. Then you'll be much clearer as to what that resource is going to be able to do in order to help you achieve what you want to achieve. And you know what happens when you achieve? You know what happens when you're on that journey to achieve things and things fall into place? You get excited. And when you get excited, you speak well, you speak often, and you absolutely live inspired, and you will inspire others to do the same. Have a great day. Talk to everybody again tomorrow. Thanks, Doug, and I'll check into that for you. All right, what do you say? A little music? End it on a rock note?